This is Alex Okafor, lifetime Longhorn and 2020 Super Bowl champion with the Kansas City Chiefs. And today on Behind the Facemask, we have Texas running back Jonathan Brooks. I appreciate you joining us, brother.
What's good?
Yes, sir. So it says you're from Hallettsville, Texas. Where exactly is that on the map?
That's kind of hard to explain. So it's like small. It's a really small country town. So if you think of like Austin, like make a triangle, Austin at the top, San Antonio and Houston.
Okay.
I'm on the bottom line in the middle.
Okay. So triangle. Austin is, you said at the top.
San Antonio left.
Yep.
Houston right.
On the right.
If you like in the middle, it's in the middle right there.
Okay. So it's not like south. For some reason I was thinking it was like south.
Nah, not too far south.
How long of a drive is it from Austin to Hallettsville?
Hour and a half, hour 45, depending on traffic.
That's not bad.
Nah.
Growing up, what did it look like for you growing up? What was your family dynamic like? Like, do you have any siblings? Were both of your parents in your life? Like, what did that look like for you?
Yeah, so I had my mom, my brother, and my dad. Mm-hmm. We all lived in the same house. My brother is 4 years older than me, so he's 24. Mm-hmm. And, I just grew up with sports. So, I mean, it was just like, my whole family. My dad coached us. My brother played. I grew up watching him play. So then that's what kind of introduced me to the game. And then it was just kind of just been athletic and outdoor adventurous with my brother and my friends my whole life, really.
Mm-hmm. And are you still pretty close with your brother?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm really close. I talk to him every day. I talk to him, my mom every day. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of things in common and we get along well.
Mm-hmm. And your mom's and your brother, are they still in Hallettsville or do they live somewhere else now?
Yeah, they still live in Hallettsville.
Okay, cool. And mistake me if I'm wrong, but I'm assuming that Hallettsville is a small town, right?
Yeah.
So what did y'all do for fun out there?
We had a city pool. Like when I was younger, for instance, we had a city pool. We had a basketball court right next door to it. So we'd just go play basketball at that. We had bikes. And then when you get older, it's not much to do but just hang out, play video games, or just go to your friend's house and just hang out. Other than that, that's pretty much it.
What about after football games? So let's say y'all got a big win, y'all trying to kick it afterwards. What are y'all doing? Like, is it like a house party or y'all going somewhere? Like, what does that look like?
So it's a country town and a lot of people got like pastors. So we'd have like backyard pastor parties kind of. Mm-hmm. Or like my senior year, it wasn't, because it's something that happened. So we didn't have parties no more. So we'd have it at like our teammates' parents' house. Mm-hmm. So all the parents and teammates would just go and then we'd have like food and stuff after the game.
So kind of going back to the pasture parties, like just an open field. What, y'all got a bonfire going, I'm assuming, and y'all just kicking it, right?
Right.
Okay. That's crazy. Only in Texas, man. Yeah. Growing up, did you always want to attend UT or like, was that a dream of yours or did it just kind of fall into place?
So boom, growing up, I was a Texas fan. Mm-hmm. And then when I had got into junior high school, the person I grew up with, his name is Ty Gerke. I'm still close with him and his dad. Mm-hmm. They're big A&M fans. So then they would take me to a bunch of A&M games. We go to College Station all the time. I went to a couple A&M games, so then it kind of got to become an A&M fan. Mm-hmm. And then throughout recruiting, A&M never gave me an offer. They didn't even talk to me. So then it was Texas. I got my Texas offer, and then I kind of went back, and I was like, kind of like Texas now. Mm-hmm. So then that's kind of how it worked out. It's kind of a weird situation being that it's them two schools, but it kind of worked out good in my opinion.
So you telling me A&M never offered you? Like they never even looked your way? They never sent you a questionnaire, nothing?
They said I was too small.
They said you was too small? Mm-hmm. Were you significantly smaller in high school or have you always been?
I was same height, but I was like 185, 190.
Okay, I mean, that's not terribly small. They acting like you like 160.
Right, yeah, exactly.
That's crazy. They dropped the ball with that one.
Yeah.
Good for Texas, though. Mm-hmm. Whenever you did start watching UT growing up, did you used to follow any players or did you have any favorite players back then that you used to watch?
I grew up watching Jamal Charles and then honestly just seeing him around, like being around the team when he comes back, it's kind of like, I grew up watching him play. Like, it's crazy. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't. Nah. That was pretty much it. Just Jamal Charles, really.
So you never watched Cedric Benson?
I mean, I've seen videos of him, but I didn't watch him, nah.
It's crazy that you say that because a lot of the like OGs and ex-UT athletes I talked to say that your running style probably mimics Ced B the most.
So a lot of people tell me.
Yeah, man, just like your hips, the way you move your feet, stuff like that. So I always wanted to know if you ever watched him growing up and if that's why you kind of like almost emulated your game after him, but I guess not. Huh?
Nah. I've seen like clips of him, like I said, but I ain't like, you know what I'm saying, watch him. But yeah, that's a lot of people tell me I run like him too. So that's what really kind of made me watch most of his stuff too.
So obviously besides Sark, I think in my opinion, Coach Choice is probably the most important piece on that coaching staff. To you, in your opinion, what makes him such a good coach?
He's not just a football coach. He's like a mentor that can be like a father figure, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't overstep, but as a coach, he's got all the energy. He's smart. He's been through college. He's been to the NFL, so he knows every piece. He knows everything you're going through mentally and physically. So he's not someone who's a coach that's never played football and doesn't know what you're going through. You know, he's been through all the stuff that I've been through, me personally. And then just he cares about you off the field. Like, he doesn't just care about football. Like, if you're going through something, he's there for you. He's jokingly funny all the time. He's, like I say, he's got all the energy and just, he brings a light to the team because he's not just some position coaches be like stuck to their position group and don't like expand out to the other team. But like, he's a coach for the whole team.
Last year, Bijan leaves for the draft. So I'm assuming in your mind, you're thinking, this is my time. Like, I step into that role now. Like, this is my job. Y'all go through training camp and the coaching staff named CJ Baxter, the starting back, out the gate. Where's your mind at that point in time?
I'm going to go back a little further. So then, boom, once Bijan and Roshan left, when the bowl game, say they opted out of the bowl game. So then the bowl game, I'm like, me and Keelan going to get a lot of touches. I'm expecting in my head. And we're going to showcase what we can do. But, you know what I'm saying? That game went how it went. So then I had bilateral hernia surgery the next day after the bowl game.
Okay.
So I'm battling through an injury. Through all the spring, I couldn't do much. And just, honestly, I felt like that was a good thing for me because it helped me learn a lot of stuff that went into, like, you know what I'm saying, the plays. Like, I learned defenses, learned fronts, all that. So now, as far as, like, that, mentally, I'll be honest, like the first couple of days, weeks, I was a little off. Like, I was like, dang, like, I felt like I was giving it my all, you know what I'm saying? But it's a part of the game, you know what I'm saying? And it didn't make me question myself or anything, because he's a great player. So it wasn't like I was like, I should be starting, you know what I'm saying? So it was it made sense, really. So then I was like, you know, I'm gonna be there for him. I'm not trying to be like a big bro, but like I'm gonna be there like a brother for him. So I'm gonna be the support system he needs. I'm gonna help him. I'm not gonna hate on him. I'm not gonna do none of that. So then, you know, and I knew my time was gonna come. God forbid he got hurt. And, you know, I just kind of like humbly said, this season isn't like a surprise to me because I know what I'm capable of. I know what I can do as a person and as a player. So, you know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, he got hurt, and then I got my chance to shine, and I just took it and ran with it and didn't stop. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, C4 is my dog, so it wasn't, and we were close, so that's what made it a little bit easier to accept because that's my brother.
I love that you said that, like, once they told you that you wouldn't be starting on that first play of the game of the season, you immediately went to, okay, like a big brother role, a mentorship role. Like, I'm not going to try to undercut this dude. I'm close with him. I want him to succeed just as much as I want myself to succeed. CJ has said the same thing. He's expressed the same sentiments. He said as soon as he stepped foot in that running back room, it was nothing but love in there. In your opinion, with so much talent going in and out of that room, how do y'all keep from getting jealous amongst one another?
I don't know, because I've never in my life been the jealous person. So I like when we also see it as a running back group, that's C4, me, Keelan, Red, Blue. I mean, there's all of us. So like, that's showing the world like what we can do, what we have, like that you don't see all the time. And so like, for as far as like getting jealous, I feel like that's the type of running back room we have. We're really, really close. Like if you in the meetings room, you would laugh all the time. Like we're laughing, we're jokingly serious. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we were in the room, but we were getting work done, but we were so close and we bonded so good together that it was like, it's like unbreakable. Like that sound like cliche, but like, you know what I'm saying?
I get it.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. So I see you go off this year, 1,100 yards, 10 touchdowns, 6.6 yards a pop, yards per carry. We know Sark likes to toss it around. He got all types of weapons on the outside. Did you ever feel like at any point in the season that you didn't get the ball enough?
Nah, I wouldn't say I didn't get the ball enough. I feel
Or let me rephrase it. Did you ever feel like the running backs didn't get the ball enough? Like y'all didn't get enough carries total in the room?
Selfishly saying, as a running back, I kind of want the ball every play. Like, you know what I'm saying? But obviously you got to do other stuff with the ball. But like, it was a certain time where I was thinking like, I kind of wanted the ball more. I didn't think I deserved it or think I should get it more, but I wanted it more just because I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like I said earlier, like I know what I'm capable of. So I trusted in myself, the confidence in myself. And, you know, I'm a humble person. So it's not like I'm just going to go to coach and be like, hey, give me the ball. I need the ball, this and that. I'm just going to play my role, do what I got to do, and I get the ball so that coach sees what we do with the ball, then he'll want to give it to us more. So it's kind of just a play your role until the spotlight's on you and then show what you can do.
No, that's awesome. And you speaking about the love in the room, you talking about Coach Choice, I could just see it like flowing through the room. I know me, if I was a back and I'm busting 6.6 yards a carry, I'm going to be like, Coach, why not give me the ball every single down? But to hear the maturity, like it's impressive, man. I commend y'all for that.
And you just mentioned about the room, the bond, like even after this last game, I wasn't even playing, but like me and Keelan both talked about it because we're the two that's leaving. The worst part about leaving, it feels like, is leaving that running back room because literally we were so close. Like it was like they were literally our brothers and me and Keelan been there for 3 years. So me and him became really, really close. And then just everybody that came in, we just took them under and it was just like we've been really close. So that's one of the parts that I'm going to miss the most, just the running back room for sure.
And when Bijan and Roshan left, do y'all still keep in touch? Like, do y'all still texting like every other week, stuff like that?
Yeah, they call sometimes just to check up on me, see how I'm doing. I don't really try to call them too much just because, you know, they in the league. I don't know their schedule.
Yeah, they got a lot going on. Yep.
I don't want to be like that pestful little brother, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, it's cool to have them two running backs like them to look up to and have like notes to take from, you know what I'm saying?
So to me, one of your biggest strengths as a runner is making people miss, especially at the second level. In your opinion, what's your best attribute as a runner on the field?
Humbly saying, I'd say my vision.
Okay.
My vision, and then like you said, making people miss at the second level. But I didn't start making people miss at the second level efficiently and consistently until Coach Choice came in the room, and that's what we worked on in practice. Like running back drills, we're making moves at the line, but then he made us finish 10 yards and make a move as if we were on the secondary level. So then it kind of just became natural and kept working on it. And then also just with the vision, you know, and hours in the film room with Choice over the off season, during the season, camp, all that, he would just tell you like, he would tell you a read and like you have to really focus on what you got to do. And just also it's kind of knowing the game plan and knowing your opponent too. Just studying on them and just seeing what they do. Look at the consistent details.
So let's kind of dive into that a little bit. Like you working on your vision. So because that's hard to do. So is it something where obviously when the play is drawn up, it's supposed to hit at a certain gap? How do you work on your vision in a situation like that? Like, do you know where the cutback's going to be? Do you got to learn how your O-line blocks and where typically there's going to be a gap? Like, how do you expand your vision as a runner?
You got to know the blocking scheme, kind of, in a sense. Because a lot of people, like a lot of coaches, they like to draw on the board and say the ball's going to hit here, but they've never played running back to know that if that hole's not there, then like, you know what I'm saying? You got to cut back this, that, and the third. Just knowing your blocking scheme, though, because if it's a down block, you know you can get backside. If it's a block back, you know you got to know your angles and which you got to go. And then the defensive techniques will tell you what you need to know, too. Really, it's just when you get to the line, looking at the front, looking at the techniques, and really just kind of knowing, but also kind of off of instincts. If you don't got instincts, you can't do much, really.
So is that something that obviously you grow as you get older, or is that something you can like work on and get good at immediately?
I wouldn't say it's something like if you got a coach that's hard on you, you know what I'm saying, and in a meeting room he consistently gets on you about it, then you can kind of change it because I've seen it firsthand. But it is something that you kind of got to grow into. Mm-hmm. You know, you're at the college level now. You should start in high school, kind of watching film with your high school coaches, and then in college you should. I'm not saying have it down because nobody's perfect, but you should kind of get the gist of it and know what you're doing because there's never. I wouldn't say there's never a perfect play, but there's all like say there's a play you get tackled, there's always yards left on the field because you could have made a better cut, better move, or better anything.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you went down in the second half of the TCU game, and I feel like I knew exactly where I was when I was watching that play just because I was devastated for you. Whenever you went down, did you know immediately it was your ACL, or did you think you was going to be able to walk it off? Like, how did that feel?
So boom, when it first happened, it was like a sharp pain. So I'm thinking like, I kind of just hyperextended my knee because I've done that before. It didn't feel like anything was loose, none of that. Mm-hmm. So I just crawled off the field because, you know, Choice tell us all the time, don't lay on the field unless you got a bone sticking out. And then that's kind of like, it's funny to say, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
Coach Choice don't play, man.
Right, right. Kind of having that toughness in your heart though. But no, I just crawled off the field. And then the trainers came over there, and they didn't say nothing at first. And then they tried to take me to the tent, and I tried to put pressure on it. And you know, like when you hyperextend your knee, it wants to just go back, like it has no like support. Mm-hmm. So that's what I thought it was. I told him I should be fine. And then they had took me to the back room because he said it didn't feel right. It didn't feel like this other one. So I'm kind of through my head. I'm like dang, like I talked about it with my family, my coaches. Like this was my year to do what I had to do and get up out of here. Mm-hmm. So then everything's going through my mind. Is it torn? Is it my ACL? Did I blow out my whole knee? How bad is it? Is it torn? Just literally just everything going through my mind. Just lost. Went to the back room and then they just got me in a brace and then they said I have an MRI the next day.
And whenever you got your MRI, and they gave you the bad news that your ACL was completely torn, where were you at mentally at that point?
Mentally, I ain't gonna say I wasn't in a good place, but I was probably the lowest I've been in a while. Just because I've never had a major injury like that in sports. So just knowing that I did it, and then in my mind, I thought everything in front of me was just over. Like I thought, like it sounds dramatic, but like in the moment, I'm like, dang, my career's over. Like, in my mind, I'm thinking, what if I don't come back the same? What if it doesn't heal right? Mm-hmm. Like, what if, you know what I'm saying? Just every possibility was going through my head. And then it took me a couple of days, but I talked to God and he just helped me get through everything. Literally, I'm not even being dramatic. Mm-hmm. You know, he got me through it. And I just became more faithful throughout this whole process too. Mm-hmm.
What were your teammates like when you went down? Obviously, I know it's a family atmosphere, so they're supporting you, but I guess I'm asking, how grateful were you for them, like to have people to lean on in a situation like that?
Oh, it was great. You know what I'm saying? They made it a lot better. But another thing that I'm not going to say I never really spoke about, but like whenever they would ask me the results and I told them I tore my ACL, like just kind of seeing the sadness on their face, like the devastation, like, when I told them, they're like, dang. Like you can see, I felt like a part inside of me, just being so competitive, felt like I let my teammates down. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I was the best player out there, but just seeing their face whenever I told them, it felt like I let my teammates down. But I also knew that they loved me for the person that I am. They didn't just like me for being the player on the field. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I felt like the bond that I made with the team over this last 3 years. You know what I'm saying? We went from 5-7 to last year 8-4 to then this year. I mean, just the bond that I made with my teammates, I became close with them. So it was a lot easier to lean on them and to be more, I'm not going to say emotional, but be more myself around them about my injury. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. One thing I notice is in football, whenever guys go down and they're done for the season, you can tell the mark of a good teammate because as the season goes on, those players are going to represent the guy that went down. And every time CJ scored, Keelan scored, they was always throwing up the 2-4. And that made me happy, just representing the journey that you'd been on.
Mm-hmm.
So what did that mean to you, knowing that your teammates were holding it down for you and kind of showing love and representing for you out there?
That meant a lot. And you know what I'm saying? Like, just like I said, that goes back to the bond we made in the running back room. You know what I'm saying? I didn't tell them to do that. They didn't tell me they were going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
They just did it. So then just knowing that they do that for me when I'm hurt and can't play no more just shows the love that we have in the team. Like, it's a bond that is going to last a lifetime. Like, we still text every day. I still play the game with them. We text every day. We joke all the time, you know what I'm saying? So just seeing that they would do that for me, it really meant a lot.
Mm-hmm. Whenever the Chiefs won the Super Bowl in 2020, I had actually torn my pec a couple weeks before the playoffs had started. So I had to miss the whole playoff run. And I remember the emotions that were going through me just watching my team compete and knowing that I can't be out there to help them. Looking at your situation, I'm sure something similar to that. Where were you at during the Washington game, like mentally? Like, how did it feel being out there and almost kind of feeling helpless in a sense?
Sounds funny because helpless, like, you know what I'm saying? But that's really how it feels. Like, it's like, dang. But, you know, I try to be the best teammate I could be. I try to be out there. I try to be an extra set of eyes for them, telling them which hole they missed, what they could have did. You need to block better, this, that, and the third. I wasn't trying to be like I'm a coach or anything because I'm not perfect as a player. But, you know, hearing it from me maybe might help them or encourage them. So just being out there watching the game, knowing that I couldn't help my team probably hurt the most. I'm not saying that I could have helped them a whole bunch, but you know what I'm saying? Just because I know what I'm capable of. So just watching the game was kind of hard, but it helps me as a player to see it off the field, you know what I'm saying? To see it outside looking in, just to see like stuff that they don't see.
One thing that's going to benefit you too from being in that position is you're not going to forget what that feels like. Like, you're not going to forget what it feels like being on the sideline, knowing you can't contribute, especially knowing that your team needs you in a situation like that. So you're going to carry that into the league and for the rest of your career. And you're going to know that every snap is precious. Like, every opportunity that you're out there is a blessing. And I'm excited to see you, you know, live through that. So you and T Sweat call yourselves the Eastview Boys. For everybody out there, what's the meaning behind that?
Eastview. So that's the apartment complex we stay in. And then, so boom, before this season, me and him kind of felt like, I'm not going to say like we were doubted, but me and him going into the season, neither of us started. So then it was kind of like we kind of had a chip on our shoulder. And before the season, you know, we're roommates. So we sat on the couch and we talked about it like.
Not to interrupt you, you said going into this season, neither of y'all were starting.
Right.
So Sweat wasn't starting either going into this season?
It was kind of a complicated situation for him.
Gotcha.
But he was, like, we weren't starting the first game.
I gotcha.
So yeah. So then, you know what I'm saying, we were roommates. So we sat on the couch and we was like just talking like having a brother talk. Like, we were both saying like we're gonna go off this year, regardless of how much playing time, anything like that. Like, we knew we was capable of, but we was also just like talking to each other, knowing that like we're kind of seeing how each other felt about being doubted and stuff like that. And then, you know what I'm saying? So the season that he had, I'm not surprised. He changed his ways like completely. Like, he was like, I'm not gonna say he was a bad teammate. He was a teammate that was gonna tell you the truth, whether it was like, if it, say like, you know, a lot of people like to sugarcoat things. He wasn't gonna sugarcoat it. So he wasn't wrong with what he said, but you know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to do that sometimes.
You gotta present it in a productive way.
Right, right. So he wasn't wrong with what he was doing, but he changed his ways. He stopped going out. He stopped drinking. He became a great teammate. And he really practiced hard, put in the work in the weight room. He changed his eating habits. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the season he had is not a surprise to me at all. You know, I'm really proud of him for the way he changed himself, you know, for the betterment of himself, his family, and for our team. Because like he said in his interview, I believe too, the reason we had success this year is because of him. You know what I'm saying? He's a lot of energy to the team. D-line they got all the characters on the team. They loud, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So really, like, they get the team going. Like, they can get the team going, or if they have dead energy, they can bring the team down. But him and the D-line always are characters. They brought their energy level up every time. So, You know what I'm saying? That's Eastview though.
Mm-hmm. So how'd y'all get so close? Because I know Sweat, what is he, like 2 years older than you? 2 classes ahead or just 1 class?
2 classes ahead.
2 classes ahead, yep. So how does it, because usually when you room with somebody, it's usually in the same recruiting class or if anything, just 1 class apart.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all being 2 classes apart, how did y'all get so tight?
I have no clue. My freshman year, I'm in study hall,
Mm-hmm.
and a big D lineman come in, and he just cracking jokes. That's what I'm saying. He's a character, so he's cracking jokes.
That sounds like Sweat.
And I'm like, and he was talking trash to me, joking with me. So then I was like, I don't know what happened, and then we went to the cafeteria together, and then eventually I became friends with another D lineman, Myron Warren. He transferred to Texas State.
Mm-hmm.
Me and him were really, really close. And then eventually, he would always hang out with Sweat, and I would always be with Myron. So then it was kind of like it was us 3 that were really the closest. Mm-hmm. And then us 3 became roommates. Well, they were roommates, and then I moved in with them. So then that's how we all became close, and he transferred. So then me and Sweat moved in together. But I don't know, we've just always gotten along. Like it was, like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. No, that's an interesting dynamic. And it even makes y'all's story that much better. Because like you said, like both of y'all came in facing adversity. Both of y'all came in with a little bit of doubt heading into the season. And I think both of y'all were our 2 best players on both sides of the ball. So it's an interesting situation, but the way it all comes together, it makes sense. Mm-hmm. So you've officially declared for the 2024 NFL Draft. What all went into making that decision for you?
Since I was a kid, going to the NFL has always been my dream. You know what I'm saying? And then now that I'm capable of doing it, now that I'm eligible to do it, so you know what I'm saying, it makes it that much easier. You know, the year I had, my teammates, they're a good support system. My coaches, I talked to my coaches, my friends, family, my agent, and, you know, just kind of talk through it. And the reports I was getting, stuff like that, it just kind of, you know, it kind of not left me no choice, because there's a lot of pros and cons either if I went back to Texas or if I went to the draft. So I think I made the best decision for myself and my family. And, you know what I'm saying, hopefully it plays out good.
Absolutely. So you talk about the pros and cons of leaving early, especially, you know, coming off of a serious injury. In your mind, what are some of the pros? What do you, obviously you have a lot to gain, but what were really the deciding factors for you?
Deciding factors, like say for instance, I go back to Texas, God forbid, I have an injury and I don't go, like it's a season ending, career ending, I don't go to the league at all. Now all my dreams and aspirations are kind of gone in my head. You know what I'm saying? Because then I don't know what I'm going to do after football with that happening so early. And then it's kind of just like going to the league. Like I said, it's everything I dreamed of. I'll be 1 year closer to free agency, all that stuff. Coming off of an injury, I'm still getting good reports, better reports than I imagined when the day it happened. So I feel like it's kind of satisfying, not satisfying, because I'm not satisfied with anything I've done, but it's satisfying knowing that in a couple months, I'll be able to change my life and my family's life.
And is there any nervousness heading into the draft? Like, is there any doubt on your end?
You know, it's kind of like my coach says all the time, when you go to the league, it's not your decision when you stop playing football. You know what I'm saying? You're not in control of how long your career, I mean, you kind of are, but other people control your career as far as, you know what I'm saying, playing time, your contract, getting cut, anything like that. So, I mean, it's a little doubt, but I trust in myself. I have a good relationship with God. I trust in God. I believe in him. So I feel like I'm going to just continue to live through him and allow him to guide me through every obstacle that I have in my life, and just trusting him that he'll get me through it.
I love that. And I'm with you. I've heard both sides. I've heard the pros and I've heard the cons of you leaving. And honestly, I think you made the right decision. When you look at how the NFL is kind of treating running backs nowadays, like they're holding out on the bag. They're not paying guys like they used to. The lifespan of an NFL running back is short. So in a situation like yours, you got to strike where the iron's hot. And that's why I think you made the right decision.
Yeah.
Okay, so who's your favorite player to watch in the league, running back wise?
I'm going to say it, like, not selfishly, but like not biased, but Bijan.
Okay.
Just because, like, I mean, if he gets the ball more, like, he's winning Rookie of the Year, you know what I'm saying? Like, and when he got the ball, he was so elusive, and he did what he did at Texas when he got the ball up there. You know what I'm saying? He rushed for 1,000 yards in league, so, like, that's his rookie year. So just imagine, like, when he gets year 2, year 3, year 4, so on and so on, like, how much better he'll get, the development, everything like that. I just like the way, I mean, he can catch the ball, run it. They put him at receiver. He can do everything. So I feel like I don't try to replicate his game, but I learned a lot from him through the way he plays.
And it's crazy to me the way that Atlanta used him. Now that their head coach is gone, we can talk about it. But it's crazy because, like, literally every time he got his hands on the ball, he was making something special happen.
Right.
And it just blows me that they can't find a way to feed him. To me, the mark of a good offensive coordinator or play caller is you got to be able to feed your best players. And if you can't give them the ball, then what you out here doing?
Especially if you draft them first round 8th pick.
Right.
I ain't saying you wasting the pick, but, like, you got to take advantage of the pick.
Absolutely. That needs to be, if not the center of your offense, heavily involved in your offense. And it just didn't make sense to me. So outside of Bijan, who do you think is the best running back in the NFL? Or who do you most enjoy watching besides Bijan?
I like watching Christian McCaffrey.
Okay. He's
fast. He's physical. Like, he can catch the ball. He can do a lot of stuff with it. And he makes plays with the ball in his hand. And he's not like he's very humble too. You know what I'm saying? As a person, he's not out on social media doing a lot of boasting and being conceited about himself. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I like the way he handles himself. I like the way he handles himself on the field too.
No, I agree. And that's kind of where the position is shifting. Like, not only do you got to be able to tote that thing, you got to be able to catch it out the backfield. And I think that's one of the reasons why you're going to be successful in the league, because obviously you can go between the tackles, you can bounce out, but also you can catch the ball in space and get active with it. So I'm excited to see you do some work. Are there any teams that you don't want to draft you?
As a man, I ain't gonna lie, I don't like the cold.
Okay,
so that might be I'm not gonna say that'd be a problem, because realistically, if I had to, I would play for any team. You know what I'm saying? Whatever team drafts me, I'm gonna be grateful for the opportunity that they give me. But if I had to choose, I'm a mama's boy. My family's in Texas. I kind of want to stay in Texas, whether that's the Cowboys or Texans, it don't really matter. Or, like, just anywhere not cold. I can't, me and the cold don't get along. It's too cold up here, and it's not even that cold. So, anywhere not cold.
No, I'm with you. And running backs can't wear sleeves either.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm guessing Green Bay, Buffalo, Obviously you'll play for them, but that cold weather's a beast.
Yeah, you got to fight through it at that point.
I feel you. So I had read online that you were at practice whenever your pops passed away back in 2022. And I can't even fathom what that situation would look like. I lost my mama a couple years ago, but I knew she was sick. I was there, I was present. I couldn't imagine being at practice when something goes down like that. Can you kind of walk us through that situation?
Yeah, so we was at walkthrough. What was it? It was spring. And came back to the locker room. I looked at my phone, and I had a missed call from my mom. I had 3 or 4 missed calls from my brother. So I called him back, and he was crying. I'm like instantly, I'm not going to say instantly bad things went through my head, but you know what I'm saying? Everything was going through my head. Then he started crying. He was like, he said, Dad went to the hospital. Mom took him to the hospital. He passed out. So in my head, I'm like, what's going on? And I'm like, is he going to be okay? He said, I don't know. So instantly, I had a good relationship with my dad. So instantly, I just broke down, started crying. I'm in the locker room around my teammates. I ain't going to say it was embarrassing, but I acted like a little kid, because that's how much I love my dad. I was, I got on the knee, I was crying. I didn't know what to think. I didn't know who to talk to. You know what I'm saying? My teammates were around. Sweat was right there, because his locker's next to mine. And he seen me crying. He came over and asked me, and I told him, and he was like, I didn't know what to do. Everything went through my head. So then my brother said he was at work. He was driving back to Hollisville. So then I called my mom, and she was crying too. So I'm like, dang. And she said she was at the hospital with him. And she said I needed to come home, but she didn't want me to drive because I was going to drive fast and, you know, Lord knows what. But so my aunt had came and picked me up from Austin and drove down there. And then when I had got out, my brother had told me he passed away. He had a heart attack. But it was kind of like, he had kidney problems. So then he had a kidney transplant. He was good for about 10 years. Then it failed again. And he was doing dialysis. And then he had like a surgery to get like a pump inserted into him. And then we have no clue what happened. It was just it was random. It was just sudden. So, you know what I'm saying? It's still, I talk to him every day still, just, you know what I'm saying? But it's sad.
I can imagine you driving from Austin back to Hallettsville. I can imagine that's the longest car ride that you've ever had to experience. What were the emotions like for you during that ride?
I couldn't stop crying. Everything going through my head, praying that he doesn't pass away. Just texting him, you know, telling him to stay with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a kid, I was always like, when it happened to other people, I'd be like, damn, I don't know what I would do if one of my parents passed away. And then it was just like, is this really happening to me? Like, I've never had a family death like this. So it was kind of like, wow. It was kind of hard to take in at that moment, hard to believe, but you know what I'm saying? Just talked to God, but came closer to God through that too.
And every time that you score on the field, you throw up your forearm, you got a tat, right?
Yeah.
Representing him.
Yeah.
Do you mind showing us that tat real quick? You can just put it up to the camera.
This is death date and Roman numerals. And then it got dad right here. Me and my brother got matching tattoos of it right here.
Man, that's dope. And then, so obviously we know the significance of the tattoo. What does it mean to you every time you punch it into the end zone and you're able to throw up that forearm?
It means a lot. Like, deep down, like, I just know, like, every time I score, like, literally every time I score, the first thing I think of is this. And it makes me think of my dad. Like, just, I could see him smiling down, clapping, because he was my biggest fan. Literally, I tell people all the time, he believed in me more than I did. Like, he's the one that woke me up in high school and made me go work out. He's the one that, in college, he told me that this day was going to come. He pushed me. He told me all the time, don't worry about what fans and social media are saying. Just do what you got to do. And he told me all the time, just go to work, do what you got to do. So just knowing that I could literally visually see him smiling down on me, that's probably one of my favorite moments every time I score, just seeing him.
Absolutely. I know whenever my mama passed away, it's a weird dynamic because, like, whenever your mama's living, you know, like, if you're away from her, you can get away with some things. But whenever you lose a parent, you know that they're looking over you and they can see everything. I guess I'm trying to ask, does that affect the way you move through everyday life, knowing that Pops is up above watching your every step?
Yeah, it does. I ain't gonna lie. Just knowing that he's seeing everything. And I know him and God are up there looking at every step I make. And, you know, it definitely changed the way I do a lot of things. I try to live right all the time and just make the right decisions.
If you could say one thing to your Pops right now today, what would it be?
It would probably be two things. It'd be thank you and I love you, because thanking him for making me the man I am. You know what I'm saying? He raised me 18 years and he was hard on me. But he was also that dad where we can get along, joke, laugh all the time. And he was probably one of the main reasons I was where I was. You know what I'm saying? And then just love him because it's my dad. He did me no wrong ever. You know what I'm saying? And all he did was love me. So.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. He's I'm about to start tearing up because I think about my mama, but I know he's watching down on you. I know he's proud. You had an unbelievable season, one of the best seasons I've seen from a Texas running back. So I know he's up in heaven right now, just on 10.
Yeah.
And, you know, remember that, take that with you, and use that to motivate you.
Yeah.
I know you will.
Appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Well, look, that was episode 5 of Behind the Facemask. I appreciate my boy Jonathan Brooks coming through, and good luck to you moving forward in the 2024 draft.
Appreciate you, dog.
Yes, sir.